The new Cypriot public transport system. The new Cypriot public transport system started on July 24th of 2010 and took over from the old system, which, in accordance with the relevant European order, did not correspond to the actual passenger needs. Based on the old public transport system, there were numerous public transport companies which performed urban, rural and/or intercity routes depending on their base, the economically favorable destinations, and personal issues that every individual driver had to perform. Today, there are only 7 companies which are engaged in urban and rural routes of each district, intercity routes, and connecting the airports with the capital and Larnaca town. While, as will reasonably anyone expected, there were some improvements, such as the placement of stops in the right places, the tighter control, start each route at the right time, the passage of all relevant routes, regardless of the driver's issues, creating vertical lines so that you don't have to go to the center and return back when you have a job at a fair distance from the center, in the creation of some night routes. However, there are still significant gaps that must be filled. Most stops just have signs without route seating, timetables, route maps, or electronic marking of the next bus arriving time. The lines are spaced on time from 10 minutes up to 2 hours. They are closing down very early. There have been changes in the new routes after the start of the new program, resulting in the inclusion routes without mounted stops or stops which they had gone out of the route, and to cause confusion among users and drivers. The night lines are very quantitative small and operated only Friday and Saturday nights, with only pleasant exception tourist areas where night routes are more, but unfortunately they work only the same days and times. Thoughts on the new system have been many: new fleet of buses, telematics, electronic standby marking at each stop, new transit stations, modal compensation of mileage in companies from the state, electronic control of drivers and vehicles, electronic ticket cancellation system, cheaper tickets, and many others, most of which, however, were unfortunately on paper. Improvements were few, efforts to improve them even less. Unfortunately, we failed, could only admit the current Minister of Transports, despite various strategies, promotions made occasionally, in example, free transfer of pupils, students and pensioners, choice of the minister itself to switch to the relevant public transport service for the airport in every business trip, television, radio and print ads, etc. The highlight was when some fanatic users of public transport heard that the design and creation of the new public transport system needed experts from Greece. They sent letters with proposals, agreed with anyone they discussed about that the best experts are the ordinary people, both in concept and in need users, as well as being close to the perpetuate vicious circle. I do not have customers, so there is no reason to increase my infrastructure, and both do not you increase will not bring you new customers. increases should take a step back and sacrifice if involved the government rather than forcing the audience, taking hasty measures and countermeasures to use public transport, as on the same time the audience sees these weaknesses in the system, does not use anything, as also few TV shows took the theme public transport in light, but unfortunately the result remains the same. Those improvements were made or they are going to be made. They seem as just a fancier package to the same big problem. Hopefully, however, let's take this matter once of the concentration of Cypriots and all these efforts made finally to resolve it.
Can you feel my heart beating so fast every time that I'm in your arms? I can touch the sky. Give me a chance, I will